Idaho State Police WSU Interview Part 5. This interview details several interactions BK had with fellow classmates. Stated she first met Kohberger on campus at a meet and greet for the PhD program cohort. Would later clarify that the event date was August 17, 2022. Explained she and who both came from the together, attended the event together. Provided a phone. Came from the together, attended the event together. Provided a phone number of for after the event, said she, and talked about Kohberger, and did not really like him based on their interactions with him. Said she tried to give Kohberger the benefit of the doubt, as he appeared to be trying to overly impress both of them. Said she invited the whole cohort to her apartment during the second or third week of school. Said it was the University of Iowa vs. Iowa State game. Kohberger attended the event, but was about 2.5 hours late. About a week after the event, Kohberger began to tell others. Suspected Kohberger may have looked in her bathroom cabinet and observed her for prescriptions because she does not openly share with others about her. Said after her interactions with Kohberger, she began to distance herself from him and heard complaints from other female graduate students about how Kohberger would make them uncomfortable. Said as the semester progressed, there were numerous interactions with Kohberger, staring at students weirdly during class, and spatially trapping fellow students in the student offices. Stated when she was not around, Kohberger would spatially trap their offices for long periods of time. Stated there was a spiff during class between Redacted and Kohberger, in which Kohberger was mansplaining, said as the disagreement progressed, had the class move on from the topic. During follow-up questioning, provided the general context of the disagreement and reported that Kohberger said mansplaining did not exist. Stated there was a spiff during class between, and Kohberger LOL, in which Kohberger was mansplaining, said as the disagreement progressed, had the class move on from the topic. During follow-up questioning, provided the general context of the disagreement and reported that Kohberger said mansplaining did not exist. 6. Said her closest friends were. When Detective Lehman asked Kohberger had any friends, she was unaware of anyone. Stated Kohberger would have been the closest with his office mates, who were international students. Stated she assumed Kohberger was helping learn English and prepare for the TOEFL, test of English as a foreign language. During questioning about Kohberger's overall performance in school, stated she did not think Kohberger was doing very well as they could get a general idea of everyone's grades through a process of elimination. Said she heard rumors Kohberger stated was inadequate to grade his papers because she was too foreign. Further stated while she did not know his specific grades, said she did know Kohberger was not doing well as a TA, teaching assistant, because I complained about not getting enough help from both Kohberger, and said about halfway through the semester, put out a request for graders, which both she and applied for and began performing. Said from her limited experience at the college, she thought it was rather unusual for a professor to request additional graders halfway through a semester. 8. When asked about Kohberger's demeanor after November 13, 2022, said Kohberger's demeanor did change. However, she attributed it to being called out about not being a good TA. She recalled Kohberger smiling at her more and being more respectful towards her, said she thought this was occurring because Kohberger was not part of the tight cohort group. When asked, said she fully anticipated Kohberger returning to school after the end of the semester. 9. During additional follow-up questioning. Of Redacted said Kohberger always wore a puffy coat to class, both prior to and after the homicide. Redacted told us there was a tally board in her office documenting how often Kohberger was late for class, and she and fellow students were tracking his tardiness, comparing it to female versus male professors. Later provided photographs of the tally board. Provided examples Kohberger arriving late to class and her negative perception of Kohberger being late to graduate levels courses, said Kohberger never missed a class except for once, which she believed might have been the Thursday after the homicide, which was their methods class. Kohberger attended the Tuesday and Wednesday classes prior to being gone for Thursday class. Admittedly said she and her fellow classmates talked a lot of shit about Kohberger via a group text message thread. Provided additional examples regarding Kohberger. Blocking fellow students in the offices showed us an email from that said, "Help me, this convo is weird," dated October 28, 2022. Said Kohberger would stand in doorways and not leave when it was clear, based on the social cues the person in the office was packing up and wanting to leave. Said she was aware of a formal complaint to HR Human Resources by Redacted for statements Kohberger made to her after Redacted stepped away. As a result of the complaint, a meeting took place regarding discrimination and harassment as a department. Thought the meeting occurred sometime in October or November and could not retrieve the exact data is hard of hearing and has two. As a result of the complaint, a meeting took place regarding discrimination and harassment as a department. Redacted thought. The meeting occurred sometime in October or November and could not retrieve the exact date. 12. I asked if Kohberger had a girlfriend or other acquaintances. She was unaware Kohberger consistently interacted with anyone. Said Kohberger was only around when classes were happening, and rarely saw him when they did not have classes. Said Kohberger did not discuss his social plans with her, and only knew he was interested in baseball, said he told. He liked to spend time alone in the woods. When asked, said Kohberger told her he had no social media accounts. 13. Said she did notice injuries to Kohberger's hands in October, and had joked that he must have been punching drywall in anger. Reported Kohberger told fellow students he had been boxing when explaining why his hands were injured. 14. Said during 2 extensive student presentations on Segel victimization on college campuses and stalking, Kohberger sat through them and did not interject himself into the conversation. Regarding the death penalty, reported Kohberger previously appeared to be in support of the death penalty, and made statements that the victim's family should have a say as to whether or not the death penalty is imposed. Come back for Part 6. BK final research paper was on burglary. The entire class had to take a specific training because of BK actions.